People talk about the cancer that is consultancy groups in video games. And what do I mean by consultancy groups? I mean, companies like Ubisoft, like EA, like Bethesda, like, Rocksteady, outsourcing not only their storytelling, but the overall artistic integrity that they have to third party companies like Sweet Baby. But now everyone's shitting on Sweet Baby, but people forget that other consultancy firms, other consultancy groups exist. Some of them are in house. And it's the idea that a multi billion dollar literally cannot be fucked with writing their own stories. So they outsource them to these, you know, ideologically charged groups. And it's obviously ideological. It's part of the grift. It's why they do what they do, right? And again, these things outwardly affect the product itself, and we've seen this with games like Forspoken or with like uh, the Suicide Squad, right? And we kind of see this in games like God of War Ragnarok and Assassin's Creed Valhalla and Spider-Man 2, but those games are still universally liked. And again, I don't think people might not remember them. Same thing with Alan Wake too. Like people, even though these games are liked, I don't. People are not going like they're. I doubt they will stand the test of time because one, they're just continuations of stories that were objectively superior, right? Like the previous God of War games is what made God of War Ragnarok good. Like it's why people played God of War Ragnarok. But I don't know. I doubt that Ragnarok's going to carry the water any as far as the previous ones did. But now we have the Silent Hill remake. Now I want you to understand this is a remake. So what people want is it to remain as faithful to the remake as possible, right? And this is how that I haven't played Silent Hill. I like the horror genre, but I've always found like games like Silent Hill and not Resident Evil 1 and 2, but the third one, I found them to sort of be pretentious about it. Like they tried too hard, and that's not what is required. But and this is what the guy looks like. He looks like the same as what he did in the original. But as you can see, what's her name? Was it Jill? This is what they made her look like. Like they've completely changed her face. And see now you can't even find what she looked like in the previous. Like she looked like this in the previous Silent Hill, like this, right? And this is the original, right? But yeah, she looked like this in the original. But now you look at it and she looks back back like this. Like and this is why people have a problem with consultancy groups. Like they make these changes, and again, you're not supposed to point this out, right? You're not supposed to point out the fact that they beat a female character with the ugly stick. They purposefully made her ugly. Because if you do, you have just an army of people with an ideology that will jump down your throat because they believe they have the moral fortitude to do so. But in this case, it's a remake. They could have made a new Silent Hill and had her this whatever the fuck this I don't know, basic looking woman. But they didn't. They completely changed the way the character looked. And it's also insulting because I think this is her husband, right? And this is the wife, and it's like, okay, like, are you trying to insult me now? Like, and here's what I'm trying to get at, right? They put in time, money, and effort to make the product worse for the gamers, for people who play games. And the question is, so why would I pay $70 for a remake? Like, it being a remake to me already throws it into hot water. Like, I'm already looking at it with discontent because I'm sick and tired of fucking remakes, no matter how good they are, or remasters, no matter how good they are, because so many come out. But then they make deliberate changes that they know people are not gonna like. And again, they go after the market. They go after people who would be potentially paying customers, right? Who did play the original, and they insult you for pointing these things out. And again, people who did not play Silent Hill will come out the woodworks and insult you for pointing this out. And it's like, okay, so I guess you don't want my money, right? Indeed, because I work hard for my fucking cash, right? And this is what I need you to understand, right? I work hard for my fucking money, but so why the fuck? And they covet your money, right? Like, these companies that hire consultants, they hire an army of diversity officers. They hire people whose direct jobs is to fuck with the developers. That's why you get games that come out broken. That's why you get games that are $100 fucking. That's why you get so many fucking delays. It's because they hire people whose entire job is to fuck with the creative process of games. And I'm not even getting started on the fact that there's censorship about video games, right? There's so many rules and regulations on games that are just ridiculous. And it's like art cannot flourish in this type of environment. Video games, especially, cannot flourish in this type of environments. I guess unless you're a quadruple A fucking company and you've paid for the right to have the fucking bear sex scene in Baldur's Gate, or you've paid for the right to have the fucking sex scene in The Last of Us 2, right? Like, unless you do these things, like, you literally just, it is so difficult to make a fucking video game. And above that, you have multi-billion dollar companies doing this. And they insult you. Like, they do this and they insult you for pointing it out. Like, why the fuck would I pay for this, right? Over, like, Nikke, Goddess of Victory, a game that actually listens to its fucking fan base. Like, his fans are literally like, we want more ass in this game. And Shift Up is like, I got you, homie. Puts more ass in the fucking game. Like, why would I pay? And then again, this is the question you have to ask. Because again, games are fucking expensive. 70 fucking, even 100 something dollars just to pay for in-game content that are in the game. They're just gated behind a paywall. Like, games are expensive, especially nowadays, right? So why would I pay for an inferior product? If you want to push whatever message or whatever, idea you want over putting out a good game, that's fine. But you're not going to do it on my money, right? Do it on your money, right? Games cost $300 fucking million to make. Do it on that money, not my $70. Like, I'm gonna keep that shit. And I don't know, I'm gonna buy Celica, because it actually looks like a good game. It's a good game made in the GZ Doom engine. and there's a lot of games being made in that engine, and I highly recommend that game. But yeah, I mean, and this is all I gotta say about this because they definitely did not change him all that much. If anything, they made him look fucking sexier. But they've beaten his fucking wife with the ugly stick, right? Oh yeah, and there was also because I don't know why I interact with people on Twitter. You know, I just it's just this itch I got. And again, people are like, "Oh, she's 17. Why do you want them to sexualize a 17-year-old?" And it's like, brother, that's not what I'm asking. I'm asking for them to just stick with the fucking original, right? I'm asking them to stick, you know, with. Oh God, now it's fucking up on me. Stick with what they had in the original, but they don't want to do that. They deliberately, like, I'm asking them to stick with this because it's what they had in the original. I'm asking them to stay as faithful to the original as humanly possible, but they literally cannot do this, right? They can't. And if it bothers you that she's 17 and she looks like this, just change her to be 18. Like, I don't care. Shit. Like, fuck. I mean, when I was in high school, women that were in around my age range dressed like this. But again, this is not even something that even came to my fucking mind. I was just like, why the fuck are they changing the original? Why did they beat this woman with the fucking ugly stick? And again, they spend millions of dollars trying to teach you that, you know, representation in fiction of women and of people of minorities is important, and god damn it, I believe them, right? But so why did they beat the fuck out of this pixel and make her ugly? Like, that should be a crime. Again, this is according to them. Like, they say art is subjective, but they know objectively what they need to change and what they need to do to piss people off, and they do it every single fucking time. But anyway, that's all I gotta say about this. Peace.